If you use Confluence, you've bumped into challenges finding content, or you have questions or need help. Fortunately, there's always someone who can help you out, a space administrator or space admin. Here, we're going to learn a bit about what space admins can do and how you can figure out who they are. All right, before we jump in to learn about space admins, take a look at the link below. I have an amazing learning course on everything you need to know about Confluence. It covers how to be a space admin, what they can do, but also how to make content and how to use the system to avoid frustration. Use the code BEGINNER to get a nice discount. All right, back to the content. A space administrator is responsible for configuring and maintaining a space, which is just an organizational unit within Confluence. A space is self-contained and contains different pieces of content, pages, databases, blogs, etc. Now, the space admin is responsible for ensuring that the space is configured by turning features on or off, by making sure that permissions are properly set up, and by helping guide the development and use of the space. They aren't just sitting there passively adjusting configuration, they're also actively going out and helping people learn how to use it and maintaining it. So their role is both understanding how the space operates and what can be configured, but also how your team is using the space and how it can be grown and maintained over time. Now, space admins have a lot of different features and tools at their disposal. They get additional analytics about how the space is being used. This helps them make informed decisions on what needs to be changed or maybe what articles need to be updated. They have the ability to add or remove permissions from users or groups of people within the space. And this is the most common reason I need to go find a space admin. But they also have other things they can do. For example, create templates unique to the space. Maybe your team needs a special template for some kind of documentation. The space admin can go in and make them for you to make sure that you are equipped to perform your role as effectively as possible. The space admin also should have a good idea of what's going on in the space. They tend to have more information about why it's being used and how, and this makes them a great resource for you to go ask questions, to understand why the space is configured the way it is, or what content you should be putting in there, or even how you should be using it. I look to the space admins as the people who can help kind of anyone out and help them understand the basics of the system, but also about the space itself. Now, many people may never be a space admin, and that is completely okay. However, as you start to use Confluence more and as you take on more responsibility, you may find yourself becoming a space admin. And this can be a little bit scary and a little bit exciting, but keep in mind, all this does is lets you configure the space. And when you do become one, it's a great thing because it means you're going to get more exposure to learning how the system works, but also more exposure to how it can be used. So if you ever find yourself in the position of becoming a space admin, remember you're not alone. There's a lot of great resources, including that learning course below, but lots of great stuff out there in the community and on the internet to help you figure out what to do. So now that we know a little bit about what a space admin is, let me show you how you can figure out who these individuals are. This is an important trick because if you don't know who they are, you can't go to them for help. I use this very frequently when I'm trying to figure out who can help me configure a space or help answer questions, and it is something that everyone who has access to Confluence can go in and take a look at. So let's jump into a Confluence Cloud Premium instance, and I'll show you how you can find your space admins. Here we are in a Confluence Cloud Premium instance. This trick works in every version of Confluence Cloud. And the first thing I need to do is go find a space I want to find the space admins of. In this example, I'll use the Human Resources space. All I need to do is open it up, and then click on the More Actions dots, and look for Space Settings. Now, if you are a space admin, you'll see a lot of options here under Space Tools, but if you're not, these will be missing, and that's okay. You'll still see Space Settings. Once you open up Space Settings, look for Space Details. This will give you some basic information about the space. Again, the name, the key, the owner. And if you are a space admin, you can modify these. What we're interested in, though, is this list of admins right here. This will show me the first 5 that are listed, but when I click View All, I'll get a list of everyone who has the space admin permission in this space. So I'll just see the names of all these people, and I can click Next to see more of them. Now, typically, spaces will only have several or maybe a few dozen admins, so this list shouldn't be too big, and you can learn more about them just by clicking on their name. In this example, I can see Robert Heen as an admin, and here is their email. I can even click to view their profile to get more information about them in case I don't know who this person is. So this is how we can figure out who the admins of any given space are. Keep in mind, I have to be able to view the space first. So if I'm looking for a space under Spaces, and I click on View Spaces and I can't find it here, that means I don't even have view permissions. In that case, I'd have to go to my IT team and ask for some help. But as long as I can see the space in this list, I can open it up, go into that space settings, look for space details, and get a list of all of the admins of the space. So that is a space admin. They are someone who is responsible for configuring and managing a space, but also providing some thought leadership and guidance to the team on how the space should be used to support your team. Also, learning how to figure out who they are is really important, so please share this tip with other people. It'll help reduce a lot of frustration. I'm curious to learn, though, if you are a space admin, how do you work with your team to improve them? And if you're not a space admin, what questions would you have for them so you can become better, faster, stronger at using the system? I will also encourage you to check out the links down below. Not only do I have that great learning course, I have a Discord community with about 300 people who talk about Confluence and Jira and Atlassian stuff. It's a great place to go to get support. Also, a huge thank you to my channel members. I do this full time. I create content and train, so thank you all for your support. And if you want to become a member, check out the links below. You get early access to videos and some other great perks. Thank you all so much for learning with me. I really hope to see you again in one of these soon, and have a great day. Me again, thank you so much for watching that video. Check out more here, and pop down into the description. I've got a blog with weekly content. I also have a lot of online learning on Atlassian stuff and project management. And if you need personalized training for you and your team, reach out and let me know. I'll be happy to get something set up for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon.